On today's The Anime Show, Blockade Battlefront, which baffled me quite a bit, Show by Rock, which entertained me a lot, and Triage X, which looks like this and made me go... Oh, and the goddamn recap episode. You might want to put on some coffee because the 2015 season ain't stopping anytime soon. Today we'll be looking at 3 different shows and what I think of them so far. But first, finally, the f***ing recap episode. Let's look back at some of the shows I've reviewed previously and see what I think so far. It kills me to say it, but cute High Earth Defense Club love managed to stay funny for exactly 4 episodes before the joke became laboured and the blatant homoeroticism got boring. Imagine that, boring homoeroticism.
Nakamura-san?
Assassination Classroom continues to be funny and even touching at points. If you haven't watched this show already, just have a look at it. Just go and watch it. Meanwhile, Rolling Girls, which initially wowed me with its prettiness and cool sounding premise, you know, girls on motorbikes traveling through future Japan, the girls themselves are largely flat characters, while the show kept visiting cities and adding new characters that I just didn't care about. It's a little disappointing. The show is extremely beautiful, but ultimately insubstantial. Then there's Your Lie in April.
So the original plan was for me to film myself reacting to the end of Your Lie in April, but sadly my camera completely died during the process. But you just gotta take my word for it. The ending of Your Lie in April is sad and beautiful, and it utterly killed me.
Bring tissues. Death Parade remains an intriguing thriller which I still can't talk about without spoiling, so just go watch the damn thing. And lastly, I would like to nominate Yatman Night as this year's Dark Horse anime. Admittedly, the show's constant swing between drama and levity made the finale episode feel both rushed and cheap. The final episode was badly let down by some recycled animation in an unnecessary fight scene, but the big showdown between the new Yatman and a giant-sized baddie set to awesome J-rock music. This is why I love anime. Woo! Recap done, I'm free. I remember someone complaining in the World Break Aria of Curse for a Holy Swordsman comments, which was, interestingly received, that you can't judge a show by 1 episode, and to that I say, phooey, of course you can. Triage X, from the get-go, makes it clear that this series is about one thing only: tig old biddies. And something about assassinating bad people. I don't know. Did you see the titties? What can I say about this show? It's streaming now, but they're not allowed to show any of the boobies or fannies, so if you're into grotesquely proportioned women, maybe wait for the Blu-ray release. And shame on you, Anime Lab. Your blurb for this series sounded way cooler than it actually is. I thought this show was going to be about actual doctors and nurses working long, stressful hours during the day and then working as vigilantes by night and trying to balance this double life. That's a pretty intriguing premise, which I am going to steal now and give it the show it deserves. Because aside from the same laboured metaphor of excising the cancer of society, Triage X has nothing to do with cool battle doctors. It's just tired action tropes and boring characters being used as set dressing for softcore porn. So, bring tissues? Next we have Blockade Battlefront, which takes some easing into. In the near future, an interdimensional portal opens up in New York, allowing an army of demons, yokai, and other nightmarish creatures to come pouring into our reality. Things got settled pretty quickly. A new city was built called Hell Salem's Lot, where humans and monsters live side by side in relative peace. Our leader is a would-be photojournalist and milksop named Leonard Watch, who is mistakenly recruited by Libra, a secret society of magically enhanced fighters who defend Hell Salem's Lot from some of its more malevolent inhabitants. Bumbling everyman Leonard is discovered to possess the all-seeing eyes of God, an ability that lets him see through time, space, and other magical trickery, which makes him valuable not only to Libra, but to the aforementioned nasty creatures living in the city. Episode 1 of Blood Blockade Battlefront tries to hit the ground running but immediately falls on its face. The episode is disjointed, has difficult to grasp lore, character motivations I don't understand, and is loaded with exposition dumps that left me with more questions than answers. If you persevere, however, you'll find a beautifully animated world filled with imaginative creatures that give Space Dandy a run for its money. This, coupled with the smooth, jazzy soundtrack, makes the whole thing feel like a moody old detective story. Despite a rough start, Blood Blockade Battlefront is beautifully presented and intriguing enough to make me keep watching. As long as it doesn't get stuck up its own arse trying to reinvent the fantasy wheel, this just might be a series worth watching. It occurs to me that today's multi-review is almost like a showcase of the anime spectrum. We've had ecchi garbage, a high-concept battle show, and now we have giggly J-pop fluff. In Show by Rock, a timid young guitarist named Cyan is playing a mobile phone game when she gets sucked into the digital world of Midi City, where everything runs on music. She gets turned into a goth lolly cat lady because Japan, and immediately interrupts a battle between a spunky boy band and one of the dark anti-music monsters terrorizing the city. The music as weapon genre is rarely done well. Every example I can think of, from Scott Pilgrim to the infamous Rock and Roll, is almost always a ridiculous mess filled with guitars shooting energy and sappy messages about self-belief and the power of rock. I love them so much, and so far Show by Rock is a pretty fun addition to the genre. After Cyan gets discovered, she joins the band Plasmagica, featuring an airheaded drummer, an adorably lechy bassist, and a straight girl rhythm guitarist. They have a great dynamic, but as of episode 4, the show has started introducing rival bands and characters, which is the same mistake the Rolling Girls made. On the bright side, the art style is suitably J-poppy if you're into that aesthetic. Of course, your enjoyment of the series is going to depend on your fondness or tolerance for J-pop. For what it's worth, it's very good J-pop, and you will probably start getting DDR flashbacks. I'm enjoying this series so far, but with the constant new characters, I'm worried that it won't develop the main cast as thoroughly as it should, and that the whole show is just going to become a bloated mess. So in summary, Triage X is basically porn, Blood Blockade Battlefront is a well-animated but somewhat sloppily told action fantasy, and Show by Rock is probably what most people think of when you mention the word anime. Thank you for watching the anime show, where we are bravely diving ahead into whatever 2015 has to throw at us. Let us know what you've thought of these shows so far, and we will see you next time.